Good evening and welcome back to today's presentation on ICET's preparation for your communication ability improvement. Okay, so day before yesterday, we had a discussion on vocabulary and how to improve our vocabulary, because we have learned that vocabulary is something that you cannot improve overnight or you cannot learn. It is something that you will have to practice a bit, and we have learned the ways of practicing your vocabulary. We did not have enough time to look at the possible questions or the kind of difficulty level in your vocabulary that they will test in your ICET exam. So you have enough time to practice for your ICET exam. So you should also know what is the level of difficulty at which they will ask these questions. So we will go through a few questions or few words rather that they have asked in the past to understand what is the level of difficulty at which they will ask you these questions, and the words, how difficult can they get, or rather the level of understanding that they require from you. Okay. Besides that, we are also going to do a recap of what we have discussed this week. So as you remember, this week we have discussed comprehension and passage reading, which is another part of your ICET communication ability part of questions. So we are going to do a recap of that as well. So to begin, we will start with the vocabulary part. These are few questions or few words rather that they have asked in the past exams. So we will check these words and understand their meanings. Okay, so this is how they will ask you the question. It comes up with a statement saying that choose the correct meaning for the words given, and below that you will have numerous words and few words that you have to select to say that this is the suitable word for the word that is given as a question. So there will be only a word, there will not be any more detail over there. It's just a word, and you need to check which is the right answer or which is a suitable meaning for that word. Mostly they are asking you the meaning of the word. They will not ask you what is the opposite of this word or what is the closest meaning of this word. To make it simpler, it is only the synonyms that they are going to ask you. They are not going to ask you anything like a opposite or anything similar. Remember that if you come across any question where you think this is something similar to the word given, or maybe this is the opposite, don't go that way. Do not get confused. It is clearly mentioned over there. Choose the correct meaning for the words given. Okay, so this is one of the words that was given. Haggard. Haggard is how you pronounce this word, and then you have few options like this that they will give you. You will have 4 options. As you know, every question has 4 options, and you need to select the right option over here. So haggard, right now I'm sure that you guys, as we have discussed earlier, I have told you to start using a dictionary and make a note of words. So I'm sure by now you have a journal and a dictionary handy with you. So make use of your journal and dictionary while today's session is on, and you can make a note of few words which you could add to your vocabulary. It's not necessary that these words are going to come in your exam. So do not hold me responsible or say that these are the questions that Ronald said will come. So this may not come in your exam, but make sure that you add this to your vocabulary. It will definitely help you for your future. Okay. So out of these options over here, please check in your dictionary and get an idea of what could be the possible answer over here. I'm sure you could do that right now. So the answer is exhausted. Yes, the word haggard means exhausted. Meek telsi exhausted ante it is something like, you know, alsipodam, like, you know, you're tired, chala pan chesin tarvata I'm haggard. Like if I have to use this in a sentence, I would say I was haggard after today's work, today's shift, right? So something like that, where I was exhausted, I'm done with my energy level and I'm haggard. Okay, so that is the meaning of this word. Let's move on to another word that was given. Expedient. Yeah, so that is the word that was given in one of the test papers, and there are few examples over here. Appropriate, advisable, quicken, dismiss. Okay, so to be honest with you, if you open the dictionary, there is it's a little vague term over here. expedient. It could be appropriate or advisable, but appropriate was the closest one to this answer over here. So I personally think that appropriate is the answer. Let's see. Yes, appropriate is the answer. It is definitely not advisable or definitely not quicken or dismiss. Expedient means something that's appropriate or could be advisable as well, but appropriate is the closest and the most appropriate. Again, appropriate is the most appropriate answer to this question. Okay, so let's check a few more words that were given. Stalemate. Okay, so also one thing that you need to note is that when you're reading these questions or these questions that we're discussing, make a note and try to understand the level of difficulty that they're going to ask you these questions at. These questions may not be some simple words that you might have come across in your regular life. These questions, these words are a little complex, so do not expect simple words to be given. And I would say that it's a real task for you to really get these answers right, because even for me as a professional, I think these words were a little difficult for me to understand at the first go. So I'd suggest that you quickly make use of the amount of time that you have and brush up with all the possible words at this level of difficulty. Do not think that it is going to be easy. I'm not scaring you that it will be very difficult, but be prepared. Do not be surprised, or do not be don't get low looking at these words that I haven't heard this word, so how now am I going to lose all my marks? No, don't go that way, but don't think in those terms, but try to relate these words to whatever you think can be the possible answer. And if you know the word, very good. If you do not, try and relate to this word. Maybe you would have come across this word somewhere when you did your reading, or any kind of practice that we were talking about in crossword, or the other practices that we spoke about, where you will come across new words, a new word a day, or a dictionary, opening the dictionary and things like that. You might come across these words, but make sure that you do not panic, and try to relate to this word as much as you can and get the answer. Stalemate, is it a moment? Standstill, attitude, accustomed. Yeah, so take your time, open your dictionary and check what is the meaning. Also make a note of the word so that you do not miss this word. Okay, I'm sure you got the answer by now. The answer is a standstill. Okay, so if you see stalemate, if I had to understand this word closely to a standstill, stalemate. What is stalemate? Stale is something like that is not ready, not really fresh, or nothing that is moving. It's neither an attitude. It's not about attitude. It's not about being accustomed to something. It's about being standstill. Stale is something that is, in other terms, something that is gone rotten, or something that has been kept for a long time aside. That is called stale. Food is stale is a term that they use, right? So stalemate is something. If you know the meaning of the word stale, maybe you could somehow relate that to a standstill, where something is not being used. Yeah. So when something is not being used, it is standing still. So that way, maybe you could relate to this word. Yeah. Moving on. Gingerly. Yeah, this word ఇది కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉంది. జింజర్లీ అంటే జింజర్ గుర్తొస్తుంది కదా మీకు, the thing that you use, ginger paste or ginger garlic paste. No, that's not the ginger that we are talking about here. Gingerly is the word that is being used over here. So let's see what are the options that they've given. Careful, made of spice, lightly, quickly. Okay, so here we got a good hint, right? If you look at the options over here, we have got a good hint that it is definitely not made of spice, right? They've used other options like carefully, lightly, or quickly. So it's talking about some sort of an adverb, something that talks about the action, how the action was done. I'm sure you know what are parts of speech. If you do not, if you're not really well versed with parts of speech, I would suggest that you take some time and try to understand what are parts of speech, because even if you have to understand the meaning of a word, the word might be spelled the same way and it could have two meanings, right? For example, if I had to tell you something like can, C-A-N, can, so I can use it to say that he can do something, and it is also a can, a tin can, right? So like that, the meaning of words would change based on which kind of part of speech that you're using them. So try and understand what are parts of speech as well. Otherwise, you could go wrong in understanding the meaning of the word that is given. So they could give you a word which could have two meanings, a noun meaning and a verb meaning. So you should know the meaning for both, right? It could be that they give you in the options there's only the noun meaning or like only the verb meaning, right? So make sure that you understand that. If possible, we will do a session on that as well, and we'll understand what exactly we should look at it as, when in a sentence, right? For me to give you a little bit of idea, he is content, right? If I use this word content, it means to say he is content. The feeling or the state of being is content. అంటే ఆయన చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉన్నారు, సాటిస్ఫైడ్గా ఉన్నారు అన్నది కంటెంట్. దట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ కంటెంట్ ఇన్ వన్ టర్మ్. లేకపోతే మీకు ఇఫ్ ఐ హ్యాడ్ టు సే దిస్ ఈస్ ద కాంటెంట్, రైట్? కాంటెంట్, content has the same spelling, right? Am I right? Yeah, it is a little confusing kada. Content and content have the same spelling, but the meaning is different. So that way there are a couple of words that would have different meaning based on how they are used in a sentence. But you know what is the difference between content and content? That is a pronunciation difference, and the meaning also differs. But if it comes in your question paper as CONTNT, what will you answer it as, right? So you should know the meaning of both the versions of it. That is one part that I wanted to cover today and let you know. So let's look at this word over here that we are discussing again. Gingerly. Gingerly is could be careful or made of spice, lightly or quickly. I am sure that it is not made of spice. It is definitely careful or one of the other two options. See, answer is careful, right? So he gingerly attempted the vocabulary section in the exam, right? So that means to say he carefully did it. So this could be a superlative version of it. I could use the word careful, right? But when I say gingerly, it means to say that there was a manner in the way he did it, right? Carefully, and it is giving you a little more detail about how he did it. That is how vocabulary works. Vocabulary is something that that's how words work actually, and a group of words that convey meaning is a sentence. So words have to be very particularly used, have to be chosen well to give the complete meaning of what you're trying to say. So that is why authors use these words, and that's the whole idea, to check your how precise and accurate you can be as a person when you're speaking to someone. You need to have clarity in what you're saying, right? So if you're not able to clearly tell them what you're conveying, then there is a little bit of there's a lag of information, right? So you're going to miss out on a little amount of information that you could give by using the right word. So here gingerly is used instead of careful because it is going to give you a little more detail about what exactly, beyond careful, what is the meaning of it, right? So please look up these kind of words in the dictionary, and also notice that though there is a synonym, what is the difference? Is there any more detail that this word is adding to that synonym? I could use careful, but I'm not, because of what, right? So check on that detail as well. That will give you a better idea, and that way you can also remember the word better. Okay, let's move on. Trill. Trill is our next word, and there are a couple of options over here: fall, run, cut, sing. Yeah. So out of these options, let's say trill, trilling. Have you ever heard this word, trill? It sounds a little alien, right? కొంచెం ఎప్పుడు అసలు విననట్టే ఉంది వర్డ్ ఇది, but you need to know the meaning of it, because this is one of the words that was given in your previous test. Last year or the last before year examలో, ICET examలో ఈ వర్డ్ ఇచ్చారు. సో మీకు తెలిసి ఉండాలి ఈ వర్డ్ ఇది. At least go back to the previous versions or test papers and check the words that they have given. If possible, we will definitely discuss papers which have these new words, test papers, or like say papers that were given in the past. Okay, in that we will add more number of words, and we will discuss those words and see possibly if they will come in our exam. So as of now, trill is could be a fall, or it could be run, it could be cut or sing. So trill sounds like an action for sure, because the options that are given are fall, run, cut, sing. So all of these are actions, and they are not talking about anything else but person performing something, right? So fall, I don't think it would be fall. Run, there aren't many options for run. Run is run. There's nothing that can change it to a great extent. Cut, sing. Let's see what is the answer over here. Answer is sing. Take your time and look at your dictionary and see what is the difference between singing and trill. I'm not sure if there is a ing form of this word, but check and see what is the exact difference. That way you will know what exactly this word is adding to the part of singing. If I had to say sing, I would say sing. Why would I say trill, right? As I said earlier, try to understand that difference. You will remember the word better. Okay? Let's move on. The next word is pecuniary. Yeah, pecuniary. There are a couple of options coming up now: relating to money, relating to odd behavior, relating to disease, relating to attitude. So this word over here, if you've noticed, it is not about exactly, it's not saying, it's not a meaning for something else, right? It is relating to something. Okay, so here it is not an exact synonym. Now if I have to say money, I could say currency, right? So that would be an exact meaning, but this is like something relating to money, or relating to odd behavior, relating to disease, or relating to attitude. Why don't you take some time and look it up on your dictionary and see what it could possibly be. Yep. So relating to money, I think is the answer. See. Yep, relating to money. So while you were checking your dictionary, even I have checked my dictionary, and that is the answer. Okay. Pecuniary, I think you could add this to one of your important words, that I have rarely seen this word come across anywhere in written or spoken. So I think it's more of a financial term. So make a note of it. Adversary. Okay, adversary or adversary. Let's see what are the meanings of this word. Okay, person offering money. Adversary could be someone who's offering money. Adversary could be person offering help. Okay, person offering assistance, person offering opposition. So I would consider this word to be of a normal level. This is not a word that is way too complex. It is a simpler word to understand, I would say, and I'll try to help you how to understand this word. Adversary. So adverse. Have you come across this word, adverse? Adverse conditions or something like that. So it's more to do with opposition, right? So the meaning of this word would be person offering opposition. So adversary. That way you could remember this word, and this is commonly used in written English. If you read a lot, you would definitely come across this word. These are the words that we should not miss out, and we should definitely get a good score if such kind of questions are asked at least. And if you are going to practice whatever I've mentioned earlier, you'll definitely be able to answer these kind of words at least. Let's see, what else do we have? Next word, brackish. Okay, brackish. Doesn't it sound like it's some sort of an adjective? Are we aware of what are adjectives? Adjectives talk about the character of something, right? Of the noun. Noun is something that is the character, the main thing that you are talking about. And if I have to tell any kind of character or virtue about the noun, then I would use an adjective, right? It was the color was reddish, right? Or the sky was bluish green, right? So there is brackish over here, and I'm sure this has to do something with talking about the character, or yeah, the exact way something is looking or behaving or doing something, right? So it is closely to talk about something's character. Okay, so let's see our options. What we have as options over here: brackish, tasty, beautiful, very old, slightly salty. So these are our options over here: tasty, beautiful, very old, slightly salty. So slightly salty, I don't think is. I'm sorry. Slightly salty, I think is the answer. Tasty, I haven't heard. Beautiful, definitely not. Very old, okay. So let's see what our answer is. Okay, take your time. I'm sorry. Take your time and check on your dictionary. I want you guys to also practice the usage of your dictionary. That is the whole idea why I'm giving you time. Whether you're doing it on your PC or your phone or your actual dictionary, please practice using the dictionary. Unless you start doing that, you will not really remember your new words. Journal, if you're making note in a journal, very good. Beyond that, just try to use these words. Now that we have heard these words, you have to use them. Like I've told you in the previous session, guys, unless you use these words or unless you associate them in some way, you will not remember these words, right? So different people have different ways of remembering things. Few people could see the word, like if they've seen it somewhere, when they read it for the first time and they see it, they would visually remember it, okay. Few people would have to really say it repeatedly. That is when they would remember it. And I'd say, yeah, those are the ways of two ways that people remember things. Or maybe someone, if they're told about it repeatedly, they will remember it. But unfortunately we cannot tell you repeatedly unless you're going to go back and watch on YouTube the same video, which is not a good practice, I would say. Rather try and implement it in your speech. ట్రై మీరు ఎంత మాట్లాడితే అంత రిమెంబరెన్స్ అవుతుంది మీకు. లేకపోతే మీరు సెంటెన్సెస్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి ఈ వర్డ్స్తోని. ఎవ్రీ న్యూ వర్డ్ ఏదైతే వస్తుందో దాంతో 5 సెంటెన్సెస్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి డైలీ. ఎనీ వర్డ్ దట్ యూ కమ్ అక్రాస్ 5 సెంటెన్సెస్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే మీకు గుర్తుంటుంది, ఓకే ఇలా యూజ్ చేయాలి ఈ వర్డ్ని. ఓకే, అండ్ డెఫినెట్లీ ఓపెన్ ద డిక్షనరీ ఓపెన్ చేసి చూస్తేనే మీకు అట్లీస్ట్ విజువల్లీ ఆ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసినట్టు మీకు గుర్తుంటుంది. సో దట్స్ హౌ యూ విల్ రిమెంబర్ దీస్ వర్డ్స్. అదర్వైజ్ మీరు న్యూ వర్డ్స్ నేర్చుకున్నా మీరు రిమెంబర్ చేయలేరు. ఓకే, okay, there you go. The answer is slightly salty. Conspicuous. Yeah, this is the next word, conspicuous. Dangerous, obvious, evil, friendly. 4 options ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ యాజ్ యూజువల్. అండ్ సో దిస్ వర్డ్ మీకు మీనింగ్ ఏముంటుంది? మోస్ట్ ప్రాబబ్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ సంథింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ బ్యాడ్ అనే ఉంది కదా. డేంజరస్, ఆబ్వియస్, ఈవిల్ ఆర్ ఫ్రెండ్లీ. యా, సో దే హ్యావ్ గివెన్ 2 vague, I mean 2 very distant ideas over here, I mean options over here. Either dangerous or friendly, evil, obvious. So amongst all of this, I think obvious is a little different from the options given. So let's see. Obvious is the answer. Please check in your dictionary what is the difference between obvious and conspicuous, right? There should be a little bit of difference, because if I'm using the word, certainly some more detail that it is giving. Eavesdrop. Eavesdrop is a common word. See without anyone's notice, hear faintly, hear without the speaker's knowledge, hear a loud sound. So see without anyone's notice. So these options are giving you an idea about what the word is. Kada word may be something to do with you're doing something secretly, right? You're seeing without someone's notice, hear without speaker's knowledge, yeah, and hear faintly or hear a loud sound, but you're hearing or seeing something as an observer. That is the meaning of this word. So what closely could be the answer to this anadi మీరు judge చేయగలగాలి. If you don't know the meaning, exact meaning, but I know the exact meaning, and the exact meaning is to hear without the speaker's knowledge. So this word means that, for example, 2 people ఇద్దరు మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటే వాళ్ళ పక్కన నేను కూర్చొని ఉన్నాను, I can hear what they are talking, but they don't know that I'm hearing them. So that is what is called eavesdropping. So I could let them know that I'm hearing by looking at them. Okay, వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు, so let me look at them. Like that I can look at them, but they would not know if I'm like doing my own thing or I'm walking by, akkada nenu cheyaltunte I just hear what they're saying, right? So that is eavesdrop. Answer is hear without the speaker's knowledge. So there's a speaker, he doesn't know that you're able to hear him, and you're not listening to them. వాళ్ళకి తెలియదు that you're listening to them. That is what is eavesdropping. Yeah. Let's look at the next word. Next word is exasperation. Exasperation is our next word, Uh, let's see what are the possible answers and options given for this word. What is excitement, annoyance, appreciation, denial? So this is some sort of an emotion or some sort of a expression, right? From the options you can clearly understand that it is some sort of an expression. You are either showing excitement, you are either showing annoyance or showing appreciation or showing denial. మీకు ఆప్షన్స్ నుంచి you can learn a lot. Most of the time they give you options so that you at least have an idea that this word could possibly be something related to a certain category of things, right? So our category of things could be some sort of an expression, like if you've seen earlier, it is talking about something's character, it is talking about something related to something, yeah. So ala meeku konchamaina idea teluste you have like half of the meaning of the word, right? So the rest of the meaning of the word is only about what it particularly means or how much of detail it is exactly adding, right? So exasperation over here is excitement, could be excitement, annoyance, appreciation or denial, right? So let's see what the answer is. Any guesses, or have you checked your dictionary by now? Excitement, is it excitement? Is it annoyance? Let's see what the answer is. Answer is annoyance, right? So exasperation, if you can, please construct one or two sentences. కొంచెం టైం తీసుకొని 1 or 2 sentences క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. Now that you know the meaning of the word, like I've said, only knowing the meaning of the word is not the end of it. మీరు కొంచెం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి. Try and implement this word in 1 or 2 sentences now that you know the meaning. Do you want me to give you an example? For an example, I would say he paid his bills with exasperation because they were inaccurate according to him. Kada. So the meaning of this sentence is he paid tana bills ni pay chesadu, but he paid it with some ishtam lekunta annoyance. What is the meaning of the word annoyance actually? First of all, do you know the meaning of annoyance? Yeah, so if you don't know the meaning of annoyance, you cannot answer this question. Annoyance meaning, first look up cheyandi, try to understand what is the meaning of annoyance. Annoyance is nothing but being annoyed with someone. Annoy is upset. Meeku ishtam lekunta evaraina edan cheste you feel annoyed, right? That is the feeling. Okay, so annoyance, you could look it up and use the same word exasperation in annoyance. The sentence that I have used is talking about someone paying their bills, and that person's paid his bills with exasperation because tanaki bills correct ga levani anpinchindi. Okay, so that is when you would pay your bills with exasperation. This mostly happens kada, meer ekkadikaina velte there will be so many taxes and so many incorrect charges or some charges that you do not understand, right? So that is why I've used this example. Let's move on. Furtive. Furtive is the next word. Let's see what are the options that they have given. Secretively, secretive, funny, happy, weird. Okay, so while we are doing this, let's also learn the meaning of these few words that they are given over here. Secretive ante meeku telsi, you should know what is secretive. Secretive is secretive ante you're not trying to tell everyone, right? It's just equivalent to the word secret. Secretive ante secret ga petti edaina pani cheyadam, that is called secretive. And then there is funny. Funny, you know, happy, you know. Weird is being weird, being crazy, not being normal, that is weird. కదా. సో ఫర్టివ్ అండ్ మీనింగ్ కొంచెం లుకప్ చేసుకొని ఒక సెంటెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేయండి. I think after this we will discuss one more word and we will do a recap, a quick recap of what all we have discussed. Yeah, like we discussed, secretive is the answer to furtive. So that is what the word furtive means, secretively. Yeah, so guys, we have discussed this week about passage reading and comprehension. Passage reading lo we have discussed how to read the passage, how to approach the passage, దాంట్లో ఏం నోట్ చేసుకోవాలి, what do you need to remember to give this exam a good shot. So as per what we've discussed, briefly we talk about it. We discussed how to underline all the details mentioned in your passage, how to answer the questions with two approaches, that is your question and answer procedure, or answer and then go to the question procedure, right. So you either read the passage first and go to the questions, or read the question first and go to the passage, whichever suits you. So try and go through a few passages and questions given in your model papers that you would definitely find. I'm sure మీరు అందరూ మోడల్ పేపర్స్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో మీరు ఆ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసినప్పుడు ట్రై టు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ బోత్ ద వేస్ ఆఫ్ ఆన్సరింగ్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ సీ విచ్ ఎవర్ వన్ ఈస్ గివింగ్ యూ బెటర్ అవుట్పుట్. దేంట్లో మీకు ఆన్సర్స్ యాక్యురేట్గా వస్తున్నాయో, దేంట్లో మీకు క్విక్లీ ఆన్సర్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారో is something that you need to take care of. And remember, because when you are in the examination hall, if you are going to do it in various patterns, it will not give you a good output. ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఒక్కొక్కటి సూట్ అవుతుంది. So you can practice whatever suits you more, so that you are quick, because time anadi is very important, and communication ability section lo మీరు time waste చేసి if you are not going to get the right answers, then there's no point, right. So make sure that you practice both the methods, and remember how to underline details, and remember to quickly summarize the whole paragraph, what the author is talking about. That was about passage reading. And vocabulary, regarding vocabulary, we've discussed how to improve our vocabulary with reading, using dictionary, making notes of the new words that we have learned, and practicing the words. ఇంకా ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడాలి మీరు. I know మీరు mostly తెలుగులో కంఫర్టబుల్ ఉన్నారు, but make sure that you speak more of English, and ఈ కొత్త వర్డ్స్ని మీరు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తే కానీ that is when you will improve your vocabulary. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. Again we will meet on Monday. Until then, take care, and happy Easter to all the Christians. Bye bye.